Hey everyone, welcome back to GTech Finance. Here with another stimulus update video like the good old days. So, Congress is back at it again. Making changes. There is now a large stimulus check change affecting who is going to be eligible for the check. Previously, if you made $75,000 a year, you could get the full $1,400 check as long as you did not make more than $75,000. And then between $75,000 and $100,000, your pay would proportionately go down until you get to $100,000 of income, at which point you would receive zero. The amount obviously varies based on how many dependents you have. So just think, if I'm at 75K or at 100K, I'm at 100 at 0%, and you got a nice simple scale between that in terms of how much of a check you get. Well, that scale for individuals, which used to be 75K to 100K, is now being shrunk to 80K. So in other words, if you make $75,000, you get the full 1,400. Once you make more than $80,000, you get zero. So literally everybody making as an individual between 80 and 100 just got cut out of the stimulus checks. For couples, that $160,000 is now getting a hard cut off at $1,000. So that's only an extra $10,000 of a phase out period. So you check so that $10,000 zone, there's for couples between 150 and 160, which is when you hit zero individuals at 80. This is just planned right now in the Senate, but so far Joe Biden has okayed the change. Tax Foundation estimated that with the old version of 1,400 stimulus checks, 93% of Americans would have been eligible. We're not yet sure how many people were eligible for this. Now, this new rule, my guess is this will probably take it down to somewhere around 80%. We'll probably lose about 13% of people who just won't be eligible for check. Progressive House Democrats say they'll reject these changes, so these changes are certain yet. And the Democrats in the Senate really have a lot more negotiating that they need to do. Because all the Democrats in the Senate need to do is lose one seat. And if they lose just one seat, the entire bill blows up. Democrats in the House can lose up to a total of 5 seats. In the last version of the bill, they lost 2, so they have another 3 to kind of go. Somewhat implies that there's more leverage to negotiate in the Senate and there is in the House, because there are some seats to be lost in the House. So if some people get pissed off because of that on the Democratic side, the Senate might still be able to slam dunk these changes. Now, Joe Manchin is probably the big reason for this change. He has been consistently complaining about further targeting stimulus relief bill. He also wants the unemployment boost cut down from 400 per week to 300 per week, which we talked about yesterday. Now, unemployment was originally promised through the end of September. Now it's only being promised through the end of August. If the bill passes, so this would be an extra cut to unemployment, going from 400 down to 300 again, which is where the boost is now. At the very moment here, the chief political correspondent over at Yahoo Finance indicated that 2 of her sources tell her that the $400 per week boost right now is actually planning on, or a plan to, stay within the bill. Despite Manchin's request to have this reduced because they targeted the stimulus checks instead. They think that might be enough to appease Joe Manchin. Now, this really also goes to show Joe Biden's power, or maybe lack thereof. Joe Biden said early on in this negotiation that the income thresholds for who would get the stimulus check were negotiable. And boom, this is now the second time those were getting negotiated. So he kind of left the door open there, and people literally walked right through that door to take advantage of that opportunity. Not so sure if his signaling helped there, but anyway, Biden can say the minimum wage probably wasn't going to happen, and it's not happening. So I don't know, Biden's signaling, I don't know. There's definitely negotiating happening now. Nancy Pelosi was asked about these changes, about limiting the stimulus checks further, and her response was actually that she wanted to see the entire package, but she thought, hey, so far so good. In other words, she's already okay with it. Many of the Democrats in the House follow Nancy Pelosi's lead right now. A bipartisan group of 16 senators are meeting in the Senate to strategize for amendments that can be proposed during the vote-a-rama, which is expected to begin tomorrow. So stay tuned for a lot more updates from amendments. These amendments are going to be pretty powerful because this is the last hurrah, the Senate making amendments. Now, any single Democrat not voting for this bill does kill the entire package. It's insanely tight right now. Chuck Schumer does say it's possible the Senate will conduct a roll call vote tonight here Wednesday evening, and then that way they will be able to sort of outline, okay, who's definitely for the bill, it is, and who we are not getting. Then that way we could say, okay, well, it's just Joe Manchin, or maybe Kristen Sinema needs to be convinced as well, and they need to. We'll see the tightening of the checks like yesterday, and it's alluded to as greasing their bombs. But actually getting like extra earmarks for the districts is being hardcore negotiators, and apparently they might be able to celebrate for being victorious on not providing people more money during the pandemic. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Republicans are already planning multiple amendments to extend and draw out this process, this vote around the process. Obviously, their hopes are killing the bill, or at least gaining some leverage to be able to negotiate some of their amendments. And Democrats are likewise planning their own amendments, like adding the $15 minimum wage back with different verbiage, given that the parliamentarian said that the way the current $15 minimum wage bill was written is not acceptable. So now, of course, you have Senate Democrats going, okay, fine, and we'll try again with different language. This is literally like middle schoolers trying to loophole out of detention. Anyway, remember, the goal is for this bill to get done by March 14th. That is when unemployment benefits run out of funding. Many Senate Democrats are waiting for the CBO to the Congressional Budget Office to release their opinion on the relief bill and then score it, especially the cost of amendments like the targeting stimulus checks, a reduction versus a reduction in their unemployment boost. We'll see. Donald Trump has now been reported, apparently been talking about potentially running in 2024 without Mike Pence as a vice president. Donald Trump obviously has slammed Mike Pence pretty hardcore, especially on January 6th. Mike Pence has not been very enthusiastic about working with Donald Trump apparently afterwards. Although the two have spoken, it took about a week for them to both talk again after the events that unfolded on the Capitol on January 6th. Anyway, we'll see what updates come in. I would suggest staying tuned because the market is definitely on standby for a lot of action here regarding the stimulus package. Bitcoin is up 6.3% at the moment, with a price change of about $3,000, despite tech stocks selling off, which in mind if you want to deposit money. So I guess that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hope to see you guys next time.